We were talking about how far the breast cancer campaign has come in 25 years, not only as a movement within itself, but the fact that it's raised awareness. It's become a month. It's become a whole month is dedicated to talking about it. It's become an international phenomenon. That's good in its grand scale in terms of raising awareness. But when you're diagnosed with the big C, it's the loneliness and the isolation that suddenly makes everything seem terribly small. Being there for someone who's being diagnosed, even if it's something you haven't gone through yourself, is this something that you've witnessed through friends and associates?
I have. I've witnessed it personally with friends, and we've also done a lot of studies on people who've been affected by breast cancer. We've heard from their husbands, their fathers, their children, sisters, work colleagues, and everybody says that they can be... Of course, it's up to somebody. If somebody has a health issue, of course, they have the right to privacy. They don't need to discuss it. But from what we found out is the people that do choose to discuss it, everybody feels they can help them more because they're involved and they're part of the problem and they know how to help more. And yes, it would appear that people take great comfort in hearing about other people and how they can be helped in similar ways.
Well, this is why we decided today to bring so many members of our studio audience today have been involved. Either they've experienced firsthand breast cancer or they've been there for friends and family. We're going to speak to a few of them now. First of all is Professor Leslie Fallowfield, who's been working in cancer research for over 30 years. Leslie, obviously this is something that we're all passionate about here in finding some kind of cure. Are we any step closer to we were 25 years ago?
Oh, we're a long way further, but I think it's really, really important for everyone here and also people watching to realise that we do cure quite a large number of women. It depends very much on the characteristics of the type of breast cancer, but there's incredibly effective treatment, which means that if you look at 5-10 year survival, about 90% of women who've got early stage breast cancer that's also sensitive to hormones, about well over 90% of them are going to live a long and happy life and are probably cured.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
I'm interested in you using the word cured, because so often when people talk about cancer, they use the word in remission. So you're using the word cured, so you mean it's gone, it's not coming back.
Again, it really depends on the type of breast cancer you've got. There are hundreds of different types of breast cancer, and our really clever laboratory scientists that are funded by organisations like the Breast Cancer Research Foundation every day are finding slightly different things that they exhibit or way they behave. Cancer cells are very sneaky things.
But is that one of the great strides to have discovered the number of different cancers and how they can be treated?
Absolutely, because it means that we can be more precise with the types of treatments we offer patients.
Dame Leslie, thank you so much for that. And it must be incredibly reassuring to some of our other guests that we've got in the audience today. I'm going to talk to Leslie Stephen, who, alongside 6 other women who've had breast cancer, appeared in a modelling campaign to raise awareness of the disease. Hello to both of you sitting over there in our audience. One of the key messages of the campaign for you is to not give up hope. And that must be incredibly reassuring for you, just to know that we have made such strides.
Yes, and I think I'm an example of some of the strides that have been made in cancer research. Sadly, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So when I was diagnosed, the cancer had already spread to my liver, my lungs and my bones. It was a huge shock. I just thought I had a chest infection. I had a terrible cough that wouldn't go away and I was very tired. And the GP did react very promptly and sent me for scans, and that's what was revealed. I have a particularly aggressive type of breast cancer, HER2, so one of these subtypes that Dame Leslie was talking about. And I endured lots and lots of chemotherapy, some of which worked, some of which didn't. The cancer had moved into my brain as well. So at that point, things were looking very, very serious. We, as a family, so about 2 years ago, went off on holiday to New York. with our 4 children. I thought that might be my last holiday with them. We were told that things were looking very, very serious. Came back, and my consultant had offered me either probably my last line of chemotherapy treatment or the last slot, amazing chance, good luck, the last slot on a clinical trial. And I jumped at the chance of the trial, and that was 2 years ago, and I've had an incredibly miraculous response to the drug. The cancer is
And very quickly, Emmylou, you've also been involved in the campaign as well with Leslie. Now, you say doing this shoot that you did, it completely changed your attitude to your body. In what way?
Well, the cancer itself completely changed my feelings with my body. I write a blog, it's called Mummy One Boob, and it has, throughout the various stages of my cancer, documented how my body looks. And I've just got such a newfound respect for my body. We are so quick to be fixated with what our bodies aren't and with what we can't achieve with our bodies. And we don't spend nearly enough time thinking what we've achieved, what talents we have, what we've accomplished, the children we've created, the races we've won, the amazing battles that we've fought and won. And yeah, it's just completely changed how I feel, and I wish I could just share it.
And you wanted to say a thank you.
Yes, I want to say thank you, well, to everyone who supports me, both sort of who I know, but also through my blog, connected with a lot of different people, my friends, my family, gosh. But what you were talking about before, about the isolation of breast cancer, it's difficult for friends and family because they can't really know. And doing this campaign with Breast Cancer Now and Marks and Spencer's, I've met 6 of the most special people who get me in ways that other people don't get me. It's been, I think you'd agree, it's been such a special experience for us, and hopefully that the campaign has shown that.
Well, it's great that you could all come here as well and be part of our special day. Now, we talked about the loneliness and isolation of a breast cancer sufferer, but you automatically think of women. We're joined by Mike Greenhalgh. Is that how you pronounce your name, Mike? Greenhalgh. You're a GP yourself, and yet you didn't realise that you were suffering from breast cancer. How did you manage to get your diagnosis, and how are you now?
I'm very well now, which is the most important thing. But back in 2014, I found a lump on the left side of my chest, and didn't really think too much of it, really, because I've been a GP for 27, 28 years, never seen breast cancer in a male. Obviously looked after lots of ladies with breast cancer. And the lump seemed to kind of come and go a little bit, and I felt a little bit of a lump on the other side as well. I thought it must be just one of those things, middle-aged men or whatever. And really put it off for probably 6 or 8 weeks, which is what I shouldn't have done. But having spoken to my wife, who's here today, Jill, she pushed me into going to see someone. And obviously I went to see my GP and was fast-tracked and saw my consultant, who said, it won't be cancer because you're less than 60. Thinking that breast cancer in men has always been thought of as an old man's disease. And being under 60, I don't regard myself as old. But obviously it did turn out that I did have breast cancer, in fact, on both sides, which was a huge, huge shock.
What was the operation then that you had? Like, how did they treat that?
I had a bilateral mastectomy, a full mastectomy. Obviously there's not very much breast tissue, but it was all taken away. I also had spread to both lymph glands, both armpits, the lymph glands in the armpits, and they had to be removed as well. And it was quite tough, but I was very lucky. I had a lot of great support from friends, family, old patients, because I retired by then.
And your twin brother as well.
And my twin brother. Who's